a clear play style pop up, and you have to wait until like the 4th, 5th pick until you're like, oh yeah, that's what they're doing. So, and that's the smart thing about them. They can play so many different styles and slot into everything that it's going to be a big challenge for CBA in the draft, at least, because they're going to have to kind of draft themselves a competition where not only are they comfortable, but they know they're not really going to be punished by some of these more flexible picks.
Yeah, and I think you're right there. It's like there's so many different play styles Black Rose can lean towards, and you look at their team and you think, what is their weakness? They don't really have many. They don't have weak laners. They've got solid laners. They've got flexible champion pools. They've got everything what you'd want when you look at a team. So it's going to be interesting to see what they want to do with this game.
Yeah, it really is. Looking at the other side, it's actually CBA. Previous winners, they're pretty good. We're gonna underhype them, and Vanguard. Certainly, if I want to hold in on as one of the key players for actually CBA and someone who could help bring down the Titans that are Black Rose Gaming, because Vanguard, he's consistently shown time and time again, this split and last split, that he is capable of high performances, and this split especially, there have been so many games where he's been able to pop off.
Yeah, and you're right. Like Vanguard isn't just a Vayne one trick. He's proven this by the way he's playing different champions. He does draw a Vayne ban nearly every game he plays, and he shows people why you have to ban that. And he's been pumping out different picks. He's been playing the Varus, the Jinx, leaning towards other picks and showing that he is versatile.
Yeah, he certainly is. But if you're in CBA shoes and you were looking at Black Rose Gaming, there's this big Goliath, and we've talked about them not really having many weaknesses, but where would you really target Black Rose Gaming? Because they're such a solid team and a unit that there isn't really a way in that's quite obvious. But I mean, CBA, they have a lot of strengths. How would you use them?
I think if you're CBA, your target is just playing your playstyle, not falling into the way Black Rose play. Play your playstyle, play what you know. See, this is the thing when you look at EU and NA. NA try too much to copy a playstyle what isn't their own. EU have came into their own right now, and you see them play their own playstyle. That's what CBA need to do. They need to play what they know and stick to what they know, which is their bot lane focused playstyle. If they do this, I think that's their best chance of winning against Black Rose.
Man, I mean, and any message that has the title EU better than an A, then I can get behind that. Unfortunately, CBA, they're having some technical issues with the client right now. So we're having to wait on them to get into games. We have a little bit more time to kind of chill out here, relax. But let's pick out some key players of Black Rose Gaming, because they have a lot of good players, but who's their, their star player? Who's the person you look to who's like, this guy, he'll take over?
I think from when I've watched Black Rose, I think it's Varte. Varte has such a unique playstyle that it always catches people out all the time. So his most played is Nunu and Ivan. Already those two picks you look at, and they're very difficult to play around if the player's good enough, which Varte is. So that's already such a unique playstyle, and it's like, how do I play around this? So he always will draw a ban to one of them at least. And if he gets the other one, it's again falling back to what I said, like that unique playstyle, which is difficult to play around. After that, he will bring out something like a Skarner, make you play the QSS tax. He's just so consistent from when I watched him, and he's so proactive. So I think he is like the player to watch.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you can go on about Varte being great. The whole team has been so solid over this. I mean, Lizard H, you look at just the ranks and it's very easy to say, oh, this man's weak link. No, he's not. No, Lizard H is absolute boss in the mid lane as well. But Kreese and Heats have been contesting that bot lane. And to be honest, it's going to be a huge challenge, even though CBA are a bot lane focused team and pump a lot of resources there. I wouldn't be surprised if McFreeze and Heats are able to just hold them off.
It will be interesting to see, for sure. And we're still waiting on CBA just to get in right now. They're still having the same technical issues. I hope it'll come across sooner so we don't have to wait much longer to get into Champ Select. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is draft. So both teams do draft similar. Black Rose tend to lean more towards always flex picking. So you'll see them pick like an Aatrox and a Lux, and they'll always keep that hidden for as long as they can keep it hidden for. Whereas CBA, you'll see them pick up like a priority AD carry early and not let too many bans go towards their bot lane.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what I'd like to see from Black Rose? I don't think I've seen any team completely do yet. Just ban out Vanguard. Not you can't really ban him out, but free ADC bans. Take away the free ADCs you're so scared of from him. So Vayne, maybe like Kai'Sa, Varus, something like that. Like, just get rid of free ADCs and see what Vanguard do. Because if you're expecting CBA to come in with this bot lane focused playstyle to play through that lane, if you're able to take Vanguard off of that comfort that he might want, then that couldn't give you so much.
I do agree and I don't agree.
Okay.
So the reason being is literally falling back to what we said earlier. Vanguard is very versatile, so it's not like it's that easy to ban him out. Whereas, so we know they do like to play towards the bot side, but they also need resources to do that. So if you did play like the Caitlyn Lux, like we've seen earlier, against the lanes of CBA, and then get like a priority lane in the mid or the top, it will nullify a lot of that, and I think that is how you go about it.
Well, obviously, if they're going to be able to, it should be close to a fix. So hopefully we'll be able to get ourselves into Chapter 6 soon. Vanguard has arrived in the lobby. The god himself, maybe bow. But I am very, very excited to see how this draft unfolds, because there are so many picks that could potentially come out, how this draft could go, and it decides so much of this game about where these teams are going to power spike eventually. It's so important to see. And CBA, they're starting to load in now all together, so we should be in Champions League very, very soon.
I think we just gotta wait for them to get in order somehow.
So,
if not, we might be going underway like this.
So, how was your day, Varus? If you have a little bit of a break, just...
It's not been too bad. It's been quite relaxing. Just been playing some TFT while I've been waiting around. What about yourself?
No, it's been going well. I got a new 9 to 5 job a week ago. My first ever job for the summer, saving it for uni. It's been a bit stressful, but I'm just settling in now, so should be all right in a few weeks. And now CBA, they're in order. They're coming in. They just need their support. Giazzo.ni. He's just coming in, and there we go. We're all in lobby now. All we need is Sneaky Teapot to leave spectators. And then we're good. Just, come on, give us it. Give us the reprieve. The anticipation for this game is huge as well, because like we talked about earlier, this is a top of the tables fight here. And Black Rose Gaming, they're undefeated right now. If they want to continue going undefeated, they have to get through CBA. And CBA, they're not going to go down without a fight, not whatsoever. And they can very easily take the game. And so this game has so many stakes when you look at not only the streaks of the team and the momentum, but also you're looking at playoff expectations, getting those higher seedings. This match is going to be so pivotal.
I think you're right. And we're going to get underway right now.
Hey,
so we're in, finally.
We made it into Champ Select. Here we go. All right, so.
Expecting Nunu ban. And expecting an Ivern ban. If not, then they might already have an answer for that already. Absolutely. We'll have to see. That's Paulson's Vladimir gone straight away.
Yep, looks like it. And the Yumi ban also going towards Heat. I don't want to be dealing with that one in the bot lane that can provide a lot of safety for their ADC. And I think that's what we might see banned out from CBA here. A lot of those safe picks being took away. And like you said, Nunu is going to be took off the board.
Next, we're going to be leaning towards the Ivern ban, I believe. We've got the Vanguard's Vayne ban. No surprise there. It's kind of a standard ban for them.
It is indeed. I mean, I've seen Vanguard's Vayne before, and Yeah, that shouldn't be their fruit band phase. It is absolutely ridiculous. Um, as we wait to see what these last few bands are going to be. But it seems to be the Black Rose Gaming are just trying to take away that initial comfort. The Vladimir away from Poston, the Vayne away from Vanguard, those big comfort picks that CBA like to rely on to really push themselves forward are not going to be allowed towards them.
So we do have the Ivan still open for the side of Black Rose. It's going to be interesting to see if they do pick it. We do have Aatrox open for the side of CBA too. And they're leaning towards the Karma.
I'm a fan of the Karma pick here because not only is it a very strong pick like we talked about in the last game, but also it's so flexible. That could go top lane, that can go mid lane, that can go support. We don't know yet.
It's the beauty of the Karma pick, and we're still in flex pick meta, so it fits entirely into what we've been talking about. So, now the answer. Is it going to be Zaya Rakan?
It could be. That would be a very, very difficult lane to try and get a snowball against too. So I kind of like the theory of opting for that. We'll see what they want to choose. Especially against that Karma though, I'm not sure if I like the Zyrakan because the Karma doesn't have a lot of disengage. Then again, I said that I liked the Israel Karma lane last game, it didn't really work out. So we'll see what they're able to do. And it will likely be the Zaya and the Sejuani locked in, despite the fact that the other was up, Vate has opted for that Sejuani.
Sejuani is just a standard pick here, and it's going to be interesting to see what the reply is. Is it going to be a Jarvan? Is it going to be a Rek'Sai? Sedge is sort of one of the premier junglers right now, and you didn't go for the Ivan like we were thinking about.
Yeah, and the good thing about this Zaya pick here is it kind of puts pressure on the Rakan. You're trying to see if you can get CBA to pick that Rakan themselves and force that Karma into a solo lane, but they're not going to fall for that bait. The Jarvan and the Kai'Sa are going to be locked in for themselves. And I talked about Kai'Sa being one of the key picks at Vanguard, and he's got his hands on it. And, Vanguard and Hyper carry. We're going to see some really fun stuff.
He's used to playing them short range AD carries, obviously, with him having so much experience on the Vayne pick. So it's no surprise to see him on Kai'Sa. Now we're in the second rotation of bans. There's still Aatrox and Aurelia open for Galena. He does favour these sort of champions, but we've still got the Mordekaiser on the table too.
We do indeed. And the fact that no top lanes have been picked yet really does surprise me. Usually we see a lot of those flex pick top laners like the Aurelia, like the Aatrox, etc. being picked up early in the draft, so it has that flexibility. But surprisingly from Black Rose, they haven't actually picked any flex picks unless Sejuani's going in Sejuani top or something. We did see, I believe, Wonder pull out, but like we know the Zyra Khan's going to be going bot lane at least. Whereas CBA, I think they've left a lot of their draft still open. I think we're safe to assume the Kai'Sa's going AD carry, but the Jarvan could still go top lane, and the Karma could go a lot of places. And so, honestly, I quite like what CBA have for themselves right now, but you see what Black Rose is able to respond with as they've banned away the Corki, that safe scaling mid laner, things that OG Paulson loves to have. And there's the Aurelia.
We still could see the Shen coming through for one of these teams. Both teams have a very good hyper carry to use the Shen. So I do want to see that picked by one of these teams here. We've got Aatrox and Shen still both on the table. And Mordekaiser.
Yeah, to be fair, Black Rose up into Shenhe or either team that you said, they'd be doing very, very well for themselves, being able to support a lot of those engages. And talks about the Aatrox pick being up, well, they're going to take it next. We'll be having that Aatrox in the top lane. Unless he's going mid lane, actually. I may have spoke too soon. Does leave them open to secure a counter pick in either mid or top lane. But also being able to flex around that Aatrox means that they could potentially get two favorable lane matchups.
Could be that Karma top lane right now. We see the Braum being hovered. Karma could still go mid as well. So we're still open to ideas. We do have the Braum pick to counter the Rakan.
Yeah, I like that Braum pick a lot. Brings a lot of safety to Kai'Sa, but also able to pressure just as much and support her when she's diving the enemy team. And their final pick, we'll see if that's Karma's going top or mid, and it's looking like it's probably going to end up going top. Then again, still a lot of flex picks here. You're looking even when the draft is completed, and we don't know whether that's Rise mid or Rise top. Like that's the power of CBA's draft here, and it means that becomes a lot harder for BRG to try and secure themselves a counter pick.
Yeah, and you're right. And I don't think we're gonna see the fiddlesticks locked in here. If I do, I'll be very surprised. And we go with a Zillion. So we've got a really hard to kill team on the side of Black Rose. There's so much survivability in that team. There's obviously the healing again coming through with the Zillion ult and the Aatrox passive and just general healing in his kit. So the interesting thing is, so this is the first Rise we have seen since he has been nerfed. He is a lot easier to navigate now. He doesn't have a point and click route no more. You have to empower that. But now your E will bounce to everything in its radius. So it is a lot easier to navigate in team fights now, and it's going to be interesting to see this being played for the first time.
Yeah, it is certainly going to be. And one thing that Rise likes is a very safe laning phase, and that's exactly what Zillion's going to give him. Will Zillion just push in a lot of his priorities? I'm imagining he'll take the Dematerializer and just consistently have a lot of priority mid. I imagine Paulson will be able to farm up, get to that mid-late game point where Rise is very, very scary. But it does mean that stage will be able to roam about a lot. And we saw it last game. Roaming around with the mid lane is very, very useful. And so we'll see what Lizard can do on that Zillion pick. I am a Zillion mid main myself, so I'm a big fan. But several other matches we can be talking about. And overall, I mean, both of these competitions are fairly similar, to be honest. They both have good engagement potential. You can see them fantastic, late game team fighting from both of them. Have side laning potential as well. Like, both of these teams have so many options in the picks they have.
Yeah, you're right. And both teams could literally even split push in this game too. There's a Rise, there's an Aatrox. They're both very good at doing this. I don't really expect to see a Karma split push in, but both teams could pull off a 1-4. Both teams could even just full out go for the 5v5. There's so much what you can do here. There's so many shields, there's so many damage reductions, there's so many blocking abilities in this game, so it's going to be interesting to see how they play it out. They both have just a solid all-round draft. Like, there's not many weaknesses. Good early games, good mid games. They both scale really well, so they've both drafted really smart. And I think the focus will be towards this bot side. There's going to be so much focus on seeing how much they can play around the bot lane, because you've got a Zyra Khan and you've got a Kai'Sa with a Braum. So, you've got that to keep in mind.
Yeah, and I think both of these teams need to be very measured in how they approach this game. There are a lot of, because of the protection that's around with the likes of a Braum, a Karma, a Zillion, etc. If you go in on the target a little bit too hard, and then all of a sudden they get Zillion or they get shielded by Karma, or Braum just jumps in your way, that changes everything. And so what I want to see from both these teams is a form of control. Play around to priority, get some walls down, use that vision to your advantage, and take control of the map that way. Don't just run at the enemy team, because I don't think that's going to work in this game either way.
Yeah, and it's going to be seeing how they're going to play around these objectives too. So how they're going to play around dragons in this game. You've got the Realm Warp and the Rise. Obviously, you've got a TP from the top lane. Do have Cleanse and Rise, and we've got triple TP on the side of Black Rose.
Yeah, and that triple TP is going to be very, very useful for not only Black Rose games to survive the laning phase, but also to give them so much global pressure in the mid to late game, meaning that they can put a lot of people in that side lane and be perfectly comfortable with it.
It is interesting to see that Vanguard has opted for heal here, because you see quite standardly now that AD carries will default to teleport, because they don't want to lose any gold lead, they don't want to lose any tower platings in the early game, because we're in such a mid-game meta right now. It's sort of why you don't want to draft towards a late game too much, and you want to have some of that early game pressure. That's why you see these jungle picks what are rising in popularity, like the Sejuani. Jarvan stayed up there consistently. Rek'Sai still up there. It's all that sort of things you've got to consider right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And the mid game is so important. You need to see not only a team that can snowball very well, but a team that can manage themselves in the mid game. And that's why you don't see many late game teams being picked up nowadays, because you need to have some form of control in that mid game to be able to dictate the pace of the game. If you try and sit back, it's not going to go well for you. You're going to have to bleed objectives, bleed those tower platings, bleed the dragons, bleed that just control in general. And that can very easily lead to your downfall, as we saw in our last game. So both of these teams, they need to be on the board. They need to be playing well, playing forward, but not playing too forward, as I talked about earlier. They need to find that nice little Goldilocks zone.
Yeah, and you're right. Like, it's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna do with their power spikes and how they're gonna go around executing that. Because there's so many interesting power spikes in this game. There's obviously the Black Cleaver on Aatrox. There's getting your full Seraphs completed on your Rise. The Mana Moon on Kaiser if he does opt towards that build. Obviously, Essence Reaver went back up in terms of cost, and it's been changed in its recipe now, so you got to build a BS sword, so that's a bit slower to build now. So it's all about power spikes. That's the thing I want to be looking at. I want to be looking at items, how fast they're getting these items, and what they're going to do when they have them.
While we are now arriving on the Rift, the game is unpaused. CBA taking on Black Rose Gaming, a top of the table clash that is going to be so important for the rest of the split. This is a match you're not going to want to take your eyes off of. And there they are, walking onto the Rift. We'll see if we have any exciting level 1 action. I doubt we will.
I think we're just going to go for a standard 5-point on both sides of the team. It's going to be interesting to see where the junglers are going to start and where they're going to put their focus in. I think we're going to expect the standard start from Jarvan towards his red buff. Sejuani might red buff towards bot lane to sort of like avoid Jarvan on a jungle path in the early game. But we're going to see on how they want to navigate this.
Yeah, we'll have to see ourselves, as Blizzard may have thought he was spotted out there with the Jarvan flag. Decent for shot. But yeah, looking at these teams overall, like, I talked about how even they are, but let's go across some specific matches because we have the time now. So I want to talk about this top lane. Okay, so top lane Karma is an absolute menace in this top lane. A lot of people not a big fan of it. And into the Aatrox, who is looking to play up a little bit more aggressive. How do you really see this matchup going?
Mainly all I see happening in this top lane is just the Karma constantly pushing in this Aatrox, getting Klepto stacks, running away. You won't see many extended trades, and when things start to get sketchy, you're just going to see the Mantra resolve, and she's going to back off. She's just going to heal up all the damage what was done, and nothing will come of that. I don't think there's much going to happen there. Mid just seems like a heavy farm lane, unless Cillian wants to set up a gank with a double bomb. And bot lane, I don't really see much happening either. That's the thing. It's like this whole early game is just going to be, in my eyes, I think it's just going to be standard dual bot lane. But I just want to point out something. Vanguard has red buff.
Oh, that's no good. Or arguably that's what they want to go for. There's two different options you can really go with that. I mean, putting a red buff on Vanguard doesn't seem like the worst idea until you realise that that's important for the early game. And I was about to talk about how important these junglers are in influencing these lanes. We talked about how all of them are going to be very kind of passive and even. So being able to have the likes of a Jarvan or a Sejuani gank your lane can really help swing it in your favour. But the issue is a Jarvan without a red buff is going to be struggling a little bit. As you can see in his health and mana on his clear right now, he's getting a little bit weak.
Yeah, he's getting very close to getting executed by his camp. But the red buff is actually coming into fruition in bot lane. You can see it's actually helping the early game of Vanguard. Obviously, it wasn't intentional, but it's paying off.
But yeah, it is. They've already forced a flash out of Heat's XD, which is a very big cooldown to burn on a big long-range engager such as Rakan. Denying him that flashed grand entrance is so useful in this early game.
And we also see the flash blown in top lane too. The Karma is just doing what we said, putting a heavy aggression on, keeping Aatrox pushed in. Every time that she gets that shields up, she will run at you, get them Klepto procs, and back off.
Oh, and you look at the CS differential in the top lane and the bot lane right now. My goodness. That's very good. But looks like Galena might be caught out by the Sejuani here, or vice versa, actually. If Sejuani was the one caught out. She's being forced out of the jungle and away from her own Scuttle Crab.
Karma roaming down to sort of keep that Sejuani away from there. not really much happening towards the bot side of the map either.
Uh-oh, listen, you're going very low there, buddy. Forced to flash away, but Vartage is here. Is able to stop Paulson with a flash. But oh, what a beautiful
Light with the overload.
That is a first blood going over to OG Paulson on this rise. Well played to him.
Do we expect anything less from the First Blood King? I'm gonna call him that because the amount of times we have seen Paulson just get solo kills in this mid lane, and he does it again.
And Vate, he should not be there. He needs to realize he can't go into that top lane river. Karma was there last time. And now Jarvan able to get a kill for himself, despite the fact he lost his red buff early on. And now this bot lane, look at that play. Yazzie.ni, or N1 I believe, is going to be able to secure that kill for himself. And all of these lanes now all of a sudden starting to turn into the favor of CBA. These kills are starting to go over. The snowball is starting. But CBA, you know, this is the start of something good. We'll see if they're able to continue that.
Now you've got to wonder, do you think CBA wanted to bait the side of Black Rose into picking Xayah Rakan? Because they wasn't phased when the Xayah was picked. They didn't think, oh no, we have to pick Rakan. They let it go through. They had their answer. They have the Braum, and it's coming up big right now.
It really is indeed. And this top lane skirmish though could be going a little bit sour for Galeno Optimista, as Nex is able to hit the first kill for the side of Black Rose Gaming, and that's going to give them a light at the end of this early game tunnel that they've got themselves in.
Yeah, and you're right. This is the first good thing we've seen from the start of Black Rose. It's going to be seeing how they're going to work around this now. So the Sejuani is a little bit behind. She's up on CS right now, but she's died once. Jarvan's just resetting right about now after this grump. Or is he going for full clear still?
Well, he might be just going full clear. It looks like that's where he's going to be opting into. Bear in mind, he did get put behind early. You got to keep emphasizing that. So he just needs to, you know, get that CS lead going. Because right now, despite the fact that he was able to get that kill onto Vate, he's still behind in farm.
Yeah. The early game was a bit sketchy for him. Obviously, shut him down a little bit of terms of how proactive he could be. So he's obviously got to work around that, and now he's reset to get his Bami Cinder, so he's opting towards the tankier Jarvan build.
Oh, and Galena, they're able to force the flash out of him with a great little gank from Vate. Here we will
see the World Ender instantly popped. That's a 2-minute cooldown wasted just for a flash, but I do think it's worth it.
I mean, if you do the maths, 2-minute cooldown for a 5-minute cooldown, you know?
Yeah. It's definitely worth it, and considering Aatrox does have a lead in this top lane now with a kill.
Heat is not allowed anywhere near this dragon. My goodness, just the pressure that CBA's bot lane is able to put down is so impressive.
You can see the instant reaction from CBA.
But Black Rose, I think they've spotted something's up. There are 3 members of them hanging around this jungle, but Ochi Paulson has arrived. They didn't tell him the Jarvan whatsoever, and now it's actually CBA who have the numbers of matches on this side of the map, and he's looking for a play. The TP's coming in right now. The Zidian ult has been popped onto him. He is reviving. But Lizardich, he's able to get the first kill onto Gyazin.ni. The teleport has come in, and Nex looking to make something happen, but Vayne got able to secure the first kill for himself in the fight. Gets himself a double kill for himself. This guy's an absolute monster. Lizardich going low on the other side of this fight too. Looks like he will be going down. A bomb does land onto Vayne. He has a triple kill. Can it be a quadra kill? Yes, it can. Oh my god, it is going to be a penta kill. It might be the W. Oh, it just misses, unfortunately. They're going to have to... Oh, that's so sad.
So close to a 7-minute pentakill on Vanguard. And you talked about banning him out. And I said he's too used to playing these sort of champions. He's used to people banning Vayne away from him. And he's just showing right now what he can do.
Oh, man. I mean, a 7-minute quadra kill. That is insane in and of itself. That fight as well. Bear in mind, they started off numbers as mentioned. The teleport came in, and actually, I don't think Galena Ultimista was with them that whole fight. Despite the fact that there were all 5 members eventually of Black Rose Gaming around, they still won it 4v5. That's so impressive. And now they're going to be sitting on a 3k gold lead at 8.5 minutes. That is huge. And especially in this kind of meta where snowballing is so important and having that mid-game control can decide a game, they're the ones who are certainly in the driver's seat now.
and we see a 1k gold lead on AD carry difference. We have a full item on Vanguard. We have the Storm Razor coming through to Zaya's BF double longsword, and this will make a massive difference in this matchup.
It will indeed, but Galena, he is going though in this top lane, and he can't escape from that. Nake's able to get his second kill, and like I talked about before, I mean, that top lane matchup is certainly the light for Black Rose Gaming. Nake's has been having a great game so far. The issue is the CS has been unfortunately not very high, but that's been thanks to the pressure that Galena's been putting down.
I think your shining light for Black Rose right now is if you can fight in these chokeholds. If you fight in these chokeholds, it's going to enable this Aatrox just to be more of a nuisance with the Zillion. And the Zaya Feathers become a lot harder to track when you're hard going at a team fight. So if they can get these chokeholds.
I've got a counter argument for you. That big fight that happened was in a choke point. And thank God got a Corja kill out of it. I mean, the theory is correct. I agree with you. But CBA, they are looking super strong right now. And I feel like if you're in the shoes of Black Rose Gaming, you need to look to play around outside them. Don't go bot lane right now. As much as I can see it being useful and wanting to shut down Vanguard is a very tempting thing to do, it's very, very risky, and I'm not sure if it's anything you want to do. I would say actually invest all of your eggs into the Nake's basket. Get him further ahead. Stop punishing Galena for overextending like he has been. And that'll be where you're able to start coming back into this game. Get your own snowball going. And I feel like that's been the story of a lot of this meta. You don't want to... Your aim isn't to shut someone down. It's to create your own snowball and allow you to have your own area of control over the map.
Yeah, and you're right. And this falls back to exactly what I said. It's the not falling into someone else's playstyle. Right now, Black Rose was falling into CBA's playstyle. That's why CBA are pushing this lead and snowballing a lot harder. And they go straight for the lane swap. They go for the Shrift Herald. They send a Karma bot lane. So they're going to shut down this Aatrox, what we've just been talking about.
Yeah, it seems like CBA are just one step ahead of Black Rose Gaming in the playbook. As soon as they got those first kills, they knew exactly what to do, and they know the route of this road, and they are the ones, like I said before, in that driver's seat. And now they're able to pop the Rift Herald, throw it mid, get some priority for OG Pulse, and get him even more gold into his back pocket.
He's going to get so much gold from these plates in the mid lane. And we see the bot lane have moved straight towards the top lane to try react.
And they try and force a fight mid, Black Rose Gaming, but unfortunately not able to make anything happen. And now Vayne, Gordon, Gyazzo, they've arrived in this mid lane. And it isn't going to be pretty if they're able to catch out someone.
You see them move around quite small, but they are going to be late for the dragon if they want this now. You can see Black Rose are in a better position for it, but I don't think there's going to be much focus put towards it right now because we're going to be focusing on the bot lane in the top.
We are indeed. It's the Australia lanes, a Season 5 classic coming back at you. I quite like the lane swap. It allows you to push in even further in this top lane. Try and get this Aatrox out of that lane and cause problems for Nakes, who is that very important member now. But the bot lane's overextended. Great visual fissure. And look at the damage coming out here. Vayne God is unstoppable. 5-0-2 on this pick. And it seems like CBA are just out-rotating Black Rose Gaming right now. And Black Rose Gaming needs to put a stop to that.
Yeah, the rotations have been really smart by CBA this entire game, and you see Paulson having that priority, he's able to always be there first, and because of this, Vanguard's getting more and more of a lead every time.
And this really impresses me about Paulson, because I looked at this matchup originally, and it's a matchup where Zillion should be the more priority. He has a lot of push of his bombs. If he opted for the Demon-Charge, unfortunately he didn't, but he could have so much push potential over the lane, and there shouldn't have been, really, that much priority for Pulse in the first place. But, oh, look at that engagement. Vate, they're able to take out Galena Ultimista for the third time in a row. And as we talk about them wanting to stable top lane, they're getting Nakes even further ahead. That's the aim for them, and they're actually going to be able to score an objective for themselves now, a dragon.
So the interesting thing I want to point out, the Karma is opting towards a less traditional Karma top lane build. She's not going towards the Iceborne, she's just going straight towards a Luden's Echo.
Yeah, she is indeed. And oh, Paulson, you are not long for this well. McFree is able to secure a kill for himself after grabbing his Essence Reaver. And this brings us along very nicely to the items. It's actually fairly even across the board right now, I'd say. I mean, the Ludens is something we were talking about there from the Karma. That is very much signifying I want to pressure you, but I don't think Ludens is what you want to take as karma when you're losing the matchup. I feel like if you're winning, fair enough, but if you're losing, that's only up for things like the Chalice of Harmony or maybe a Zonia's or something along that line. You know what I mean? Like I don't think Ludens is what you want to go for when you could just support Vanguard and Paulson and their leads.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what it should be. It should be more towards a supportive style of build, the Iceborne, the Chalice, the ones where you're putting all your eggs into your team's basket and not trying to just be a carrier wave clear. Because all you have to do right now is play around your bot lane. You know you're behind. You know they're just going to keep following you wherever you go and diving you. Because you're the easiest one to kill right now as it stands.
And it's very, very true. And Galena still not really I do worry for him this top lane. He is certainly the weak point right now. However, he is on a Karma, and theoretically that should mean that even if you're behind, I mean, the Karma is always going to be useful. Great double stun by Azillion in there, but not going to be enough as he gets ulted on by the Killer Instinct. He's going to be forced to flash away from that. And oh, that lands though. Great Glacial Prison onto Vengor, but he has survived for now. Galino is going to secure his first goal of the game. Makes is on the back line, but unable to secure any kills for himself, and he is going to go down to Paulson. This is very, very bad. The Mantra is zooming CBA into this team fight. Unknown Speed able to score a killing speed for himself, but Giazzo's gone down. But Freeze has been caught out though, despite getting a double kill. And it will be the fight going over to CBA 3 for, well, let's see, yes, what, a 4-4-2? If my maths is correct.
Yep. And you can see how well they peeled back straight away. As soon as there was any danger coming towards Vanguard, Jarvan turned around, used his Cataclysm on that Aatrox, and nothing else came of it. And because of this, it's just so hard to kill them. They're communicating so well, and they're kiting back so well. You can see it in their movements. And it's just so well played by CBA this game.
It is. You can see that split in the gold lead. That is a 7k gold lead nearly for the side of actually CBA. And if they're able to maintain the control they have so far, this game is going to look a little bit bleak for Black Rose Gaming. However, they're not out. They still have a lot of tools. As we saw in that fight itself, Nyx on the backline could be a huge threat. Zilean able to really be a potent threat. Unfortunately, his ult wasn't up during that fight because he was caught out earlier. But imagine that fight, but he had his ult on the Aatrox maybe. That completely changes the scenario there. Varte is able to get some great glacial prisons off, as we saw beforehand. And the Rakan and Zaya being able to dip and dodge out the fight. Like, there are so many tools available. And Black Rose Gaming, they're not out. This isn't a case of a massive snowball that they can't come back from. It's just now that they're on the back foot and they have to kind of hope that CBA make a slight misplay in order for them to punch.
Yeah, you're right about that. And the interesting thing to point out, Vanguard doesn't even have 2 items yet. So that's the scary thing to think about. He's just backed and got that Ginsus now. This is a massive power spike for this Kai'Sa pick, so she will become even more volatile to deal with in team fights. And the main thing you got to consider, as soon as that Baron comes up, they could do it on spawn. It's so easy for them to do.
It is. They had likes of a Rise, a Kai'Sa, the Karmas. They're able to shield up everyone. The Jarvan, of course, is a decent amount of damage behind him as well. And I'll tell you what, I mean, Vanguard's had a great game, but only 1 kill behind him is Unknown Swede. He's actually had a very good game himself, despite losing that red buff early on. He's had a great boatload of pressure around the whole map, and he's been one of the main stars of CBA this game.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too. And so the thing for Black Rose right now is you look at the side of CBA, there is bounties there too. So there is ways back in, like these bounties will matter a lot if you can get one of them on your team. And it's just finding when you can pull the trigger to actually get a good fight here without the full members of CBA collapsing too.
Yeah, exactly. And Unknown Swede, he has so much threat by himself, just walks up and forces Rakan away. And now This could be the second Inferno Dragon going over to CBA. That is huge. But it looks like a fight is going to be forced. There is the quickness into the grand entrance. Everyone's knocked up, but there's no one there to follow up. Vanguard is so known about that. He's going to be took down in the end. The shutdown goes over. This is able to secure a revive onto his ADC. OG Paulson, though, still alive in this fight. That big hyper carry rise. What can he do? He can kill Xayah very easily. Nate cannot do anything anymore. Double kill going over to OG Paulson. And now Lizard H, you are stuck in one bad area. There is nothing you can do here. You have to accept your death there. The ace comes through. Paulson able to secure a bunch of kills for himself, and the Inferno Dragon goes over to CBA. Despite losing Vanguard in that fight, CBA are still able to come out on top, and that is a testament to how ahead they are in this game.
Yeah, and you can see exactly what happened. So they got Vanguard, but it doesn't matter because there's still a Rise there, like just going wild. Like you can't stop him. So the double threat comp by CBA, it's just so smart. You got the Karma Shields just powering your entire team up. There's so much like distractions you need to look towards. The Braum ult at the start of that entire fight knocked up 2 of them, delaying them even getting closer to killing Vayne faster. And if they killed him faster, it might have been the difference. But we wouldn't know now.
Yeah, that's very true. And trying to remind Unknown Swede not only has been part of 16 of the 19 kills that CBA have had, but also has not died yet. Now, those are some pretty impressive stats, if I do say so myself. And we have already touched on how well he's been doing so far. And now they just need to continue the pressure they have right now. As you can see, they're starting to get some wards around this Baron pit as that 4-man unit with OG Paulson hanging around the side. And there's nothing really the Black Rose can do about this control. Like they could try and phase check, but I think they just get killed if they do so. So
I think right now you could literally just force the Baron on CBA because there's a 2-level lead on
Unknown Swede! Great double knock up there. Cataclysm onto McFreeze. He's got nowhere to go, but Unknown Swede is forced to flash out of his own Cataclysm. That's not good. Dodges the Glacial Prison with a Blast Cone. Very well played by him. And now, OG Paulson has arrived for the fight. So overall, even trade with a 1 flash burnt from CBA. Overall, a worth trade. Oh no, look at that damage going down to Heats. He's being forced out of this one. And Pharaoh's Gaming, that they're in this choke point. There's nothing much they can really do. They can't navigate around this jungle. And you just see how much damage is coming down. It is absolutely disgusting. And oh my goodness. Oh, Vanguard! Great commitment to the backline. There's 4 members on him though, but he still survives in the end. No, he doesn't. McFreeze is actually able to snipe the kill in the end, but OG Paulson, that big carry, once again surviving this fight. Oh, McFreeze just gets popped. There goes Nyx as well. And that is going to be a 1-4-3. Now, if my math is correct, that's not only worth, that's a Baron.
You can see they expended 4 flashes just to get to Vanguard. And because of that, the Rise is still alive. Again, it's back to what we're talking about. The Rise is still there, free hitting, and you're using all your focus just to kill one person when he's not the only threat. There's still other people there. There's the Rise, like we said, and the Jarvan gets a great knock up onto the Xayah, just helps secure that kill there.
Does indeed Heat, so he cannot be going anywhere near this Baron. Galena did a great job of zoning off, and he's actually came back into this game. Thank the Lord he's bought a Chalice. And, you know, despite the fact he was 0-3-0, he's now 2-4-8, which is a very nice little comeback. 2-8 in the last few minutes.
Yeah, he's starting to turn the tables with the way he's been playing this game. He's not getting caught anymore, he's just staying with the team and powering them as much as possible. And obviously the Klepto helps a big bunch with that.
What I really like about the way that CBA are playing right now is it's their style, like very much, but they're showing a little bit of flexibility in the case that it is, whilst they love playing bot-centric, it isn't all on Vanguard now. This game, if you're watching it, makes teams scared to go on Vanguard, because if you try and invest all those resources, you're forgetting about someone like OG Paulson, and then he's going to start taking over. And that's the power of CBA as a team, is their multiple threats that really, like, people are very easy to hone in on Vanguard. Like I'm myself, you know, very much still feel he is the star player of the team right now, but having a star player is both a strength and a weakness usually, and CBA, they're able to utilize it as a strength by almost fooling teams into hyper-focus into one area.
Yeah, and we've seen this many times. We've seen it a lot last split too, of how much people want to try focus that, and it doesn't work. Like we said, there's multiple threats on this team, and it's a third Infernal Drake for the side of CBA right now, and that on the likes of a Kai'Sa and a Ryze is very volatile right now.
Yeah, they're gonna melt through the enemy team as soon as they go near them. The issue it still isn't over, and I feel like BRG, Buckrose Gaming, they are in a bit of a tough spot now. There's no dodging that one. It's still I can't help but think a good Zillion, a good engage can change this whole fight. However, they do end up forcing the flash out of that Zillion as I start speaking about him. And now they are able to secure themselves a bot lane inhibitor tower and very likely a bot lane inhibitor. And look at the pressure that CBA are applying in Black Rose's own base. They're able to just walk up very easily for themselves. And wow, this is really, really fun to watch. Just to see CBA exert so much pressure, keep Black Rose Gaming, who are this incredibly strong team, from getting any sort of advantage across this map.
Times like this is why you can see why Ryze has been reworked so many times. This Ryze is so tanky, and you see how much damage he does. He has the Righteous Glory, he has the Abyssal Mass, so he's so hard to kill right now. And he can just EQ you and take half your HP.
You can indeed, and the more towers that get took, the more inhibs that are going down, the more waves you have to deal with. Cataclysm comes in though, but they're not going to get anything more off of that. But look at the side of this fight. Heat's XD, like a heat-seeking missile. He's going to be looking for the engage, the Mantra E, trying to save him, but the quickness knocks him a few people. That is huge. He has got NI has gone down, and oh no, Vayne got damage alongside Paulson. It was looking so good, but BRG are being sent running for the hills. Look at that round whoop though. Oh no! That could have gone so badly. They get stunned up by the bombs, and CBA could have bitten off a little bit more than they could chew there. That was a little bit of a risky round warp, and it bites them in the rear. But Freeze now only person alive here, but is still looking to attempt to defend. However, there are two big waves going to be crashing into the tower. OG Polson looking to secure a kill for himself, his final kill, but no, he's going to get killed into the tower. A shutdown for McFreeze. And Black Rose Gaming, they stand strong in their base. They are not down yet.
You can see the greed coming back to bite them, and the round warp into the double bomb, so telegraphed by Lizard. And because of this, they actually get some freedom. They have a shining light at the end of this tunnel. They have some sort of way back into this game now. They got a lot of gold from this, some bounties especially. Paulson had a 700 gold bounty on him. So that's so much gold going over to the side of Black Rose. They're still down nearly 10k gold, so it's still a big gold deficit, but they're not out of this game yet.
Yeah, and this is where the momentum can start to swing. It's just important that now, either CBA, for them, they need to hold what control they still have, but it's now, you got to look at your, set your sights onto Black Rose Gaming. They saw an opening, and they've took it, and this is the most important thing. They now have exposed a weakness in like CBA. If they can continue to make CBA have to overextend for these kills, then that's when they can start really eking their way back into this game. What they had in the base was a good reply, but they need to do more. And I want to see that from them.
Right now, they're just going to play around the minions, pushing in bottom mid lane, and CBA are just going to all go top, because all they have to do now is just play the waiting game. They don't need to rush this. They know they don't need to rush this, and they're just going to play around that.
Uh-oh. Oh, the glacial push does miss, unfortunately, and look at that knock-up. He's actually able to do nothing in this fight. Nyx has no one there around him. He's going to be melting down. He isn't going to be going down completely, though. And it's still going to be a nothing for nothing. However, CBA are able to force Black Rose Gaming back to their base thanks to those inhibitor waves starting to crash to the Nexus towers. So now they have the numbers advantage. We see Unknown Swedes seeking around this side of the tower, trying to force away the members of Black Rose Gaming. And it looks like they're looking to defend this tower for the time being. Just the threat they use. They don't even need to pull the trigger. It's just a threat that they have. But oh no, Unknown Swede, you've been knocked up there, buddy. You should not be that far extended. But no, he's able to get out with the Viking drag fairly easily. They're actually not able to secure that tier 2 tower that's so important to get. are actually all just going to back themselves, or they're going to pull a little bit of a Fnatic bush here. The old classic. But I feel like I'm not expecting the the likes of BRG to fall for this.
You see the pings coming out from BRG. They know that they're pinging that bush.
Oh my god, what a bold play! Just flag dragging into a bush you have no vision of. And that's going to be able to earn that was getting a little bit of pressure. Oh, that run up. They're going straight onto the Baron.
Going to be caught out here from that.
Yeah, but Galena, I mean, he is the sacrificial lamb for that escape. But
Now the scary thing is, sorry to interrupt you, is the Baron's up and all CBA are on low health bars, so this should be Black Rose's Baron.
Oh, and all of a sudden, Black Rose game, they're starting to gain a little bit of a foothold in this game. It's took them so long, but they're finally able to have some of that control. The Glacier Version does land, but Unknown Seed able to flag and drag out of it still. And the shutdown goes over to OG Polson. Can he survive this fight? Yes, he can for the time being, but Nates will say no. Shutdown goes over to the Aatrox, but it is now a 1v3 situation for him. He will be able to revive out of it in the end. But Vanguard, keep your eyes on him. He's the big carry here. What can he do? They are able to get the kill onto the Aatrox themselves. They're going to force away some members of Black Rose Gaming. And now, teleport comes through. And that Baron is looking extra juicy.
So you can see the overcommitment on the Jarvan led to the Xayah being exposed to the Rise. The Rise, no hesitation, straight for it. Goes up, kills the Xayah. And that's most of Black Rose's damage gone. Xayah is doing literally like 80% of their damage, and with her down, I don't see how you can win any fights without her.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a struggle for them now, but the Baron buff once again in the favor of CBA. They have it in their hands. They're going to be able to secure another dragon for themselves by killing this as well. Great timing by them, because the Elder Dragon will come up 5 minutes afterwards, so it's very important that they do secure this dragon at this time. I mean that they can use that control that we'll have if they haven't ended the game in the next 5 minutes. But CBA, they look poised to do so. Then again, they looked poised to do so a few minutes ago, and then they overextended in the enemy base. So we'll have to hope that doesn't happen again. But this game, it is tooth and nail all of a sudden, and CBA, they need to be a little bit careful. This is still Black Rose Gaming. This is still a team who is undefeated in the league. Looking like they could become defeated, but we'll have to wait on that because it is not over. And that's the thing about league games. We kind of forget it in a meta revolving so much about mid-game. But the game's not over till it's over.
Yeah, you're very much right. And to be honest, what I would have liked to seen is something a little bit different here from CBA. I would have liked to seen a 4-1, but instead they're just going to brute force then hit down and rotate over to mid lane.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense though, just using the pressure they have. And Unsweet needs to be a little bit careful. Could end up getting caught out, but CBA able to secure 2 inhibitors and get out scot-free. Nothing lost there. And now I imagine they'll set their sights top lane again, but this time I hope they're a little bit more smart about it. Like I said, I think I'd like to see a split push on them. The issue is that they have no real globals other than that Realm Warp available to them right now, so if they do start a split push and then a fight's triggered 5v4, there's nothing really the one person deciding can do about it.
I think that's the safety what CBA want to take. That's why they're not splitting up this Rise ever, and they're just keeping him with the team. They don't want to have it so Rise is getting there delayed, especially when he is being the secondary carry.
Oh, the trigger has been pulled though. Yasuo gets bursted, but so does HeatXD. Unknown Swede in the middle of the enemy team for now. Gets the Catechism, blocks up 3 members in that ultimate. Very, very good from him. Vate going to go down eventually, so is Nakes. But Freeze has the GA, just forced to flash away, but a double kill for OG Poster, and he is going to revive into his death. A triple kill for the Rise. 14 4 but 15. The Realm Warp comes into the enemy base. They're going to be looking at knocking down those Nexus turrets. CBA, it was looking a little bit rocky into the end, but they show their resolve as a team, and they dominate the side of Black Rose Gaming through that whole game. There is no longer an undefeated team in SQ1, and CBA are showing why they are supposed to be the champions.
You can see they did exactly what I said. They played towards their strengths. They didn't play a playstyle that doesn't suit them. They stuck towards their playstyle, and because of this, they show a very dominating performance. And the rotations this game was just so nice to watch. And they're the team to beat now, and you can see why when they're putting up performances like this. How are they even getting defeated in the first place?
Yeah, exactly. And it's great they're from CBA, and this is what a good CBA looks like. It's so hard to say, oh yeah, you could have just done this game, because when you're looking at players like Vanguard, OG Polson, Unknown Swede, they're all looking near flawless in their play all the time. And it's so hard to try and put out all the fires at the same time. I mean, you can put out one, but then all of a sudden another person starts popping off, and it's like, oh, I've got to deal with that person, and the other person starts popping off. Like, that's the power of CBA. They have so many threats to deal with that it's just it feels impossible at the time when you're against them to do anything.
And we see a big 42k damage coming in through Paulson, and like I said, he was a tank. He built Righteous Glory. He built Abyssal Mask. Obviously, he got the Rabadons later in the game, and then just absolutely popped off. It's so hard to deal with.
Yeah, he did indeed. But that will be it for today from SQ1. Week 4 is over. And like I said, there is no longer an undefeated team in this league. It is so, so close now in the top of the table. So, I mean, next week, that's going to be hype now, because this has changed up really, like how people are going to perceive that top of the table. Because Black Rose, we've seen a weakness for them now. We've actually seen them lose.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how other teams are going to opt to play against them now, because we've seen they're not undefeatable and that they can be beaten. So is other teams going to follow this?
Well, let's hope so for more exciting League of Legends action. Make sure to tune in next week, Monday and Tuesday, starting at 7 p.m. Central European Standard Time. But for now, I have been BRG Player Epicaster, joined by the lovely Varus, and I'd like to wish you guys a good farewell and a good evening.